Today's Girl Which Way show is brought to you by Edge Natural Hair Care Line. Edge Natural is a Black woman-owned hair care and beauty product line that aims to keep your edges full and beautiful while keeping the rest of your strands healthy and looking their best on a budget. Go to edgenatural.com and give your hair the love it deserves, and make sure you tell them that Girl Which Way sent you. Hello and welcome to the Girl Which Way podcast, the show that exists because life is a journey, but you still need direction. Grab your girls and get ready, because each episode we'll be talking about our real life issues, answering questions, and building solid relationships with one another as we heal and learn. I'm your host, your girl, Shalia Vinny, and today's show is almost a piggyback to the How to Heal Your Childhood Trauma episode. Only this time we're going to talk about how to not create the trauma for our kids that they'll need to heal from one day. Oh yeah, it's a conversation worth having because there are too many of us walking around in the aftermath of this very reality and passing it down to our kids. Let's talk about it. Question: do you think that the parents or the adults in your life had a negative or positive impact on your life? I did the show on healing from our childhood trauma, but I had a conversation with my husband recently that's been having me wanting to revisit the topic, but slightly different. We talked about childhood trauma, but we didn't really talk about the whys, the hows, the traumas both seen and those that are more covert, and how they affected us, and if we're unknowingly or unpurposely passing down that same trauma to our children like some messed up generational curse. Do you ever stop and look at your adulthood and think about why you're the way that you are? Some of you don't think that you're good enough, attractive enough, smart enough, or worthy enough to have happiness and peace, and it's not because of what society told you. There's a far more sinister reason you view life and yourself the way that you do. You were conditioned to believe that you deserve mediocrity in your own home. Your own family is the source of your greatest struggles and insecurities, and you haven't even acknowledged this truth and began to unpack it. So we wake up, go to work, and come home and pass these thoughts onto our own babies, just like someone deposited them into us. We are so immune to this sort of behavior that we see it as normal, a rite of passage even. But what if it isn't? What if it isn't tough love or grooming them? What if it's just cruelty that is going to take your kids years to get over, if they do at all? Wouldn't you want to shield your babies from this? Wouldn't you want to protect them if you could? Wouldn't you? Let's talk about it. Your words matter. They matter more than you'll ever know. Your words can pierce the very fragment of a child's self-esteem and self-worth and leave them irreparably broken. Have you ever seen those parents that curse at their kids? You know, the ones who call their kids out their names like little B words or little N words? Have you ever heard the parents who speak to their kids negatively all the time? You ain't ish just like your daddy. You lazy. You good for nothing. Take your mother F and A in there and do what the F I said. Blankety blank blank blank. You've seen it. Some of you have even been them. Have you ever looked into the eyes of those kids? You can see their innocence and their joy just slowly dissipating after every conversation until it's finally all gone. Have you ever watched how they tiptoe through life like they're walking on eggshells? They're so afraid to do or say the wrong thing that they often shut down. You stifle their creativity and their voices, and it totally breaks my heart for these babies. What are you projecting onto your kids? We are their first example of love and kindness. They learn from us before anybody else. Spending quality time with them and letting them see that they're valued and loved matters. Listening to their ideas, hopes, and dreams matters, even if we don't always agree with them. But letting them know that they are safe to feel, be, and do around us matters. Stop talking to your kids like they're your friends, even like they're your enemies. They're neither. Calling your daughters little B words is not cute. Making your kids the brunt of your frustrations in life isn't cool. If you're raising them alone, it's not their fault. They didn't ask to come here. It's not their fault who their fathers are or who they're not. If your spouse is annoying you, it's not their fault. If you feel as though you don't have any life or any freedom anymore because you're a parent now, it's not their fault. When life gets you down because you're tired of struggling just to make it through, it's still not their fault. Please stop making them your punching bag simply because they're in the closest proximity to catch your drama. You brought them into this world, and you don't get to treat them like the burden because of it. Kids know and feel your energy. They can tell that you don't really like having them around. They can tell that you're irritated by them. They notice that you don't hug them. They see that you act differently and pawn them off to be around friends and certain people from the opposite sex. They know when they're not wanted. And even when they don't openly say it out loud, they still know. And the worst thing you can do is say it out loud. I've seen some of you fumble the bag in the worst way by telling your kids stuff like, oh, I can't wait till you get up out my house. I wish I never had you. You ain't gonna be ish. And all sorts of crazy stuff. The words you speak over your kids, oh my, sheesh. Some of these poor babies never had the opportunity to be children because you forced them to grow up fast. Don't ask for candy at the store. Quit watching that movie. It's stupid. Don't play that game. It's childish. Don't wear this or that. Grow up. No. They should watch childish movies and play childish games because they're children. They're supposed to ask for candy at the store and want junk food and want to do all the fads and social media challenges that the other kids are doing. Stop asking them to grow up so quickly because then when they do, you only remind them that they're too fast and how they think that they're grown. It's like they can't even win no matter what they do. It's exhausting. And don't even get me started on the negative energy and spirits y'all are placing on these babies with your music, TV shows, and being around you and your negative tribe all the time. They don't see any good examples from some of you, and then you expect them to be better. How, Sway? You're not better, and you don't even have the time to show them or show them anything better because you're so selfish you only care about what makes you happy and takes your mind off of your own pain. So who has time for theirs? Oh, then there's my favorite parents. The ones who think they own their children or that their children somehow owe you for teaching them and being there for them. You know, parenting. Y'all kill me. Y'all have seen these people. You know, the ones who live vicariously through their kids. They tell them what sports to play, what books to read, what clothes to wear, who to like, what to do. They just relive life through their kids. Who cares if the child should have a say in their own future? Then when these kids become a success, mom and dad feel like they owe them. You should take care of me. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have this or know that. Come over here and take care of this and do that around the house. Live here, do that, pay this, pay that. It's not even fair. I've seen this happen a million times, especially with women and their sons. I don't know what it is, but some of these sons were married to their mothers long before they ever had a wife. And when they do find their wife and leave to cleave as they're supposed to, the mother can't take it and hates the wife. And then she demands that he chooses her as if he's married to both of them. It's ugly and it's sad. You don't own your kids. They're their own people and they must lead their own lives, you know, just like you did. Now, some of you grew up with one of these types of parents, and you've spent years trying to learn a new normal. And then some of you still only know this as normal, so you see no problem with doing it to your own kids because you turned out fine, right? No, you most certainly did not. Get some therapy and some help as quickly as you can before you ruin those kids forever. It's not cute, and it's not normal, and it's sad. Today's Girl Which Way show is brought to you by Edge Natural Hair Care Line. Edge Natural is a Black woman-owned hair care and beauty product line that aims to keep your edges full and beautiful while keeping the rest of your strands healthy and looking their best on a budget. Go to edgenatural.com and give your hair the love it deserves, and make sure you tell them the Girl Which Way sent you. So we've been talking about the things we can do that just totally crush our kids' hopes and dreams. But then some of you may not even be intentionally doing some of these things, and I realize that. Some of you are wondering what sorts of examples there are that prove my point that you may be negatively affecting your kids. So here are 6 things that you could be doing that are negatively affecting your kids. Number 1, comparing them to ourselves. They are not you. They don't have to enjoy the same hobbies, films, sports, or anything that you do. You're simply the vessel that brought them to this earth. They are going to be whoever they're destined to be, whether you like it or not. Stop comparing them to yourself and messing up their self-esteem. I don't care how much faster you did it or how much better you did it. Congrats. But this is a whole different individual. Let them do it how they do it and stop comparing them to you. Number 2, not listening to them. You don't listen to how they feel. You listen waiting to react. You tell them to open up to you, but then when they do, you punish them for their thoughts, and it makes them not want to say anything else to you and completely shut down and never tell you anything else. You need to listen to hear them. Be a safe space for them to share their feelings. Number 3, talking to them as though they're grown and not allowing them to be kids. Stop it. They're not your friends. They're not strangers off the streets. Watch your tone and your language when speaking to them. And please stop picking childish arguments with them just so you can win as the adult. It's super childish and you're coming across as a bully because you know they can't fight back. Number 4, treating them like they owe us something. Stop doing things for them and constantly reminding them that you did it for them as if they owe you. Who brought you those new shoes? Who bought you that? I did that for you. You're supposed to. You're the parent. Stop doing stuff just to hold it over their heads later. It's so childish. Number 5, killing their dreams instead of cultivating them. It's their dream, not yours. Let them dream. Stop bashing them and putting them down and calling them stupid just because you don't see their vision. You don't have to see it. Just support it if that's what they want to do. They have to live their own lives and do what makes them happy, not find a career that makes you happy because you want to brag to your friends about them. Number 6, telling their secrets and violating their trust. Oh, when they tell you something in confidence, do not go out there and tell everyone. Stop doing this. If they trust you enough to open up to you, that doesn't mean you go tell their uncles, aunts, your boo things, the other parent, granny, or anybody else. If they wanted those people to know, they would have told them. They didn't. Stop doing this. What are you, 5? If they don't feel safe to talk to you, they're never going to come to you with anything ever again. Stop violating their trust. It doesn't take a talent to be mean. Remember, just because our kids are younger and smaller than us doesn't make their feelings or thoughts invalid. Just because we gave birth to them doesn't mean we should automatically receive the respect. Respect is earned, even from our kids. They see us and know us in ways others don't get to. If they don't respect you, I promise you there's a valid reason behind it. We must be a safe space for our children to think, feel, and exist. It is up to us to place them in a good environment that allows them to be better humans than we were. They should surpass us emotionally, mentally, financially, and in every other area of life. We should be rooting for them, not tearing them down as if they were strangers on the streets. Stop hating on your own kids. Stop robbing them of their innocence and teaching them that it's because you're preparing them for reality and real life. Your reality may not be theirs. You never know who they're destined to be. If you don't kill whatever's inside of them, they might have a chance at it. To all of my grown people listening, I want to speak to that inner child that lives in you that someone mismanaged. I'm sorry. I am so sorry that they hurt you and lied to you about who you are. I'm sorry they didn't believe in you as they should have believed in you, and that they didn't tell you how special and unique you truly are. You are and always have been. Accept this apology, hold it close, and give it to your own babies. Make an effort to treat our little humans better and to love them harder, even if you're not yet a parent. This also applies to nieces, nephews, all of the little people in your life, your god babies, everything in between. They deserve better from you. They deserve better from us. Even if you didn't get it from those who were stewards over your childhood, change has to start now. We owe it to the next generation. I love you. Today's show was brought to you by Edge Natural Hair Care Line. Please rate the show on your favorite streaming platform and share it with one person who you think needs to hear it, and please ask them to do the same. Remember, good, better, best. We will never let it rest. To your good is better, and your better is best. Until next time, your friend and motivator, Shalia. Bye.